Let me ask you a question. What if today was the most stagnant version of yourself you would ever be? Not because you're incapable, not because you're unworthy, but because you chose comfort over growth. Because you settled for average when greatness was an option. Because you convinced yourself that who you are now is good enough, when deep down you know you were built for more. Every single day you wake up, you are gifted an opportunity to evolve, to push the boundaries of who you were yesterday, to become the version of yourself that your future demands. But here's the uncomfortable truth: most people don't. Most people stay where it's safe. They protect their pride instead of expanding their potential. Growth is not an event. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. It's waking up with a fire in your chest that says, "I'm not done yet." It's refusing to let your past define your future. It's understanding that progress is not always visible, but it's always necessary. You can't afford to wait until life forces you to change, because by then it's already late. Growth must be voluntary, intentional, relentless. The greatest investment you will ever make is not in stocks, property, or possessions. It's in your ability to evolve. The more you develop your mindset, your skills, your character, the more unstoppable you become. Every morning brings a silent question. Asterisk, who will you choose to be today? Asterisk, this question may not be loud, but it echoes deeply within those who are committed to self-growth. Growth is not something that simply happens to you. It's a decision. It's a mindset. It's a choice you must make intentionally, repeatedly, and without waiting for the perfect conditions. Too many people live their lives waiting for a sign, a spark, or the right time to grow. But the truth is, the right time is asterisk, always now asterisk. Growth isn't a destination you reach once and for all. It's a daily commitment. You don't suddenly become successful or wise or resilient. You build those traits layer by layer through the smallest decisions made every single day. The decision to grow shows up in the little things. It's in choosing to read instead of scroll. It's in waking up earlier to plan your day instead of reacting to chaos. It's in choosing feedback over praise, discipline over comfort, and curiosity over ego. These choices may seem insignificant in the moment, but they compound. They shape you. They form the foundation of a life that is constantly evolving rather than standing still. When you choose growth daily, you train your mind to seek improvement instead of validation. You stop chasing perfection and start pursuing excellence. You recognize that no matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. No matter how strong you feel, there is always room to become stronger mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Choosing to grow means you stop waiting for life to change and you start being the reason it does. You no longer depend on motivation because you've built a system. You've cultivated habits that push you forward even on the days when you feel stuck or tired or uninspired. This is the power of making growth a daily decision. It takes away the need for constant external validation and replaces it with internal commitment. Growth becomes a part of your identity, not just something you try, but something you live asterisk. You start becoming someone who doesn't shrink in the face of difficulty, but someone who seeks out challenge as a way to become better. This kind of growth isn't loud or flashy. It doesn't always look like big wins or public success. Sometimes it's invisible. It's choosing patience when anger is easier. It's taking the high road when no one is watching. It's learning to say no to things that no longer align with the person you're becoming. These small acts of self-discipline and awareness shape your identity in ways that big, sporadic efforts never can. This daily commitment to growth teaches you to lead yourself first, and in doing so, prepares you to lead others. It builds a life where consistency beats intensity, and where progress becomes inevitable because it's baked into your every choice. Growth becomes less of a goal and more of a rhythm, a quiet, steady beat that pushes you forward through each challenge, each opportunity, and each new day. Comfort is seductive. It wraps around you like a warm blanket, offering a sense of safety and predictability. It's easy to stay where things are familiar, where routines don't require risk, and where your limits are never tested. But growth doesn't happen in that space. Growth begins at the edge of discomfort. It begins when you are willing to step into situations that challenge your thinking, test your patience, and stretch your endurance. Comfort is the silent killer of progress. It convinces you that what you have is enough, even when deep down you know there is more potential inside of you waiting to be unleashed. When you choose comfort over challenge, you rob yourself of evolution. You stay in the same mental patterns, you repeat the same emotional reactions, and you live the same experiences over and over again, calling it life. But life was never meant to be a loop of the same day played endlessly. Life was designed to be dynamic, filled with the trials that shape your character, the failures that forge your resilience, and the victories that reward your discipline. You don't find those things in your comfort zone. You find them when you are willing to be uncomfortable, uncertain, and even scared, because those are the spaces where transformation begins. Think about every breakthrough you've had in life. Did it happen when things were easy or when you were being tested? True development never comes without friction. Friction forces movement. It forces you to question who you are and what you're capable of. It forces you to shed layers of weakness and uncover layers of strength. Every time you face something uncomfortable, a difficult conversation, a new challenge, a hard decision, and you choose to lean in instead of step back, you grow. You expand your capacity. You become more. But here's what makes comfort so dangerous. It doesn't look like a threat. It feels good. It gives you the illusion that everything is okay while quietly keeping you from becoming who you're meant to be. It keeps you busy, distracted, and pacified, so you never notice how much time is slipping through your fingers. Comfort doesn't make noise. It doesn't shake your world. It just keeps you still while the world moves on without you. And the more you cling to it, the more you trade your potential for momentary ease. Embracing discomfort doesn't mean living in pain or chaos. It means seeking challenge with intention. It means saying yes to the opportunities that scare you because you know they'll teach you something valuable. It means choosing the hard workout, the extra hour of study, the honest feedback, the ambitious project, because those are the things that sharpen you. The people who grow the most are not the ones who avoid discomfort, but the ones who pursue it, knowing that every moment of unease carries with it the seed of a breakthrough. They understand that comfort might feel safe, but it will never make them strong. So they lean into the unfamiliar, not because it's easy, but because they've realized that everything they want lies just beyond the border of what's comfortable. Your past is not a prison, it is a classroom. Every mistake you've made, every failure you've endured, and every regret you carry, they are not anchors meant to weigh you down, but lessons meant to lift you up. Too often, people let their past define their future. They let shame become identity. They let setbacks become a ceiling. But the truth is, your past does not get the final say in who you become. It's not your final chapter, it's just part of the story. And just because you've been one version of yourself for a long time doesn't mean you're bound to stay that way forever. The power of your past lies not in its ability to shape you, but in your ability to interpret it. If you view your failures as evidence that you're not good enough, you'll live with fear and hesitation. But if you view those same failures as training, as education, as fuel, then they become the raw material for greatness. The same fire that once burned you can be the fire that forges you. Growth-minded individuals look back not to dwell but to learn. They revisit their lowest moments not with self-pity, but with curiosity. Asterisk, what did this teach me? How can I become better because of it? Asterisk, everyone has pain, loss, and moments they wish they could erase. But greatness doesn't come from living a perfect life. It comes from using imperfection as a tool for transformation. It's not about denying your past, it's about redeeming it, turning guilt into gratitude, turning defeat into determination, turning fear into fuel. That shift in perspective is what separates those who remain stuck from those who rise. You cannot change what happened, but you can absolutely change what it means. You have the power to rewrite the narrative. You are not broken, you are being built. Every crack is where your strength is being revealed. Too many people allow the voice of the past to silence their future. They hear echoes of "you failed," "you're not good enough," "you'll never change," and they start believing it. But those voices are liars. They are ghosts of old versions of you, versions that no longer serve you. You don't need to prove them wrong. You just need to stop listening and start acting. You are not your worst moment. You are not the person who made that mistake years ago. You are the person who decided to rise from it. The key is ownership, not blame, not denial. Ownership. Own your choices, own your growth, own your comeback. When you stop running from your past and start learning from it, it becomes your greatest teacher. It shows you where you've been so you can better choose where to go. It reminds you of your humanity, your resilience, and your ability to evolve. The scars become reminders of how far you've come, not signs of weakness. And every lesson you've lived becomes a tool you can use not just to build your future, but to inspire others to do the same. The most valuable investment you can ever make is the one you make in yourself. It's not flashy, and it doesn't come with instant rewards or applause, but it pays dividends for a lifetime. The time, energy, and resources you devote to developing your mind, strengthening your character, and mastering your craft will always yield a return that external achievements cannot match. Investing in yourself means treating your growth like a priority, not a luxury. It means recognizing that who you become determines what you create, what you attract, and how far you go. Success is not something you chase. It's something you build from the inside out. People often spend years accumulating material possessions, chasing titles, and seeking validation from the world, while neglecting the one thing that drives all lasting change, the self. But when you truly invest in yourself, your confidence grows, your mindset sharpens, and your ability to navigate life's challenges increases. You become resilient, not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. Reading a book, attending a seminar, journaling your thoughts, practicing discipline, learning a new skill, these are not just activities, they are forms of self-respect. They are declarations that you are worth the effort, worth the time, and worth the long-term commitment. When you develop yourself consistently, you begin to notice shifts in the way you think and act. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding intentionally. You no longer need to be the loudest voice in the room because your clarity and preparation speak louder than your words. You become more decisive, not because you have all the answers, but because you've built the self-trust to take action even when things are uncertain. The foundation of personal growth is built on this kind of daily commitment. It's not about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Self-investment isn't limited to personal development books or courses. It includes rest, reflection, physical health, mental wellness, and spiritual alignment. It's the holistic understanding that every part of you must be nourished for you to reach your full potential. It's waking up early not because you have to, but because you choose to prepare your mind before the world demands your attention. It's setting boundaries to protect your focus, surrounding yourself with people who challenge and elevate you, and refusing to settle for mediocrity simply because it's comfortable. Every time you pour into yourself, you increase your value, not just in terms of what you can achieve, but in who you are becoming. The compound effect of small, intentional acts of self-improvement is what ultimately leads to extraordinary transformation. When you invest in yourself, you carry that growth into every room you enter. You inspire without trying. You influence without forcing. You lead without needing a title. The power you gain from self-development becomes unshakable because it was earned through patience, discipline, and purpose. Your self-worth no longer depends on external circumstances because it's been built internally, brick by brick, through consistent personal investment. Purpose is a powerful thing, but without preparation, it remains just an idea, an empty ambition, waiting for the discipline to bring it to life. Many people talk about wanting to make an impact, leave a legacy, or change the world, but few understand that purpose demands preparation. It's not enough to feel inspired or passionate. Real purpose requires that you become equipped, capable, and dependable under pressure. It asks you to rise above convenience and choose commitment, because when the moment to act arrives, it's not passion that will carry you through, it's the preparation you did when no one was watching. Preparation means doing the work before the opportunity shows up. It means training, refining, and sharpening yourself daily so that when the door opens, you're not hesitating, you're ready to walk through it with confidence. The world doesn't hand success to people who simply want it. It rewards those who are prepared to earn it. Wanting to inspire others doesn't make you a leader. Studying leadership, practicing empathy, developing communication, building resilience, that's what builds the kind of leader who can move others. Wanting to succeed won't make you successful. It's the late nights of study, the early mornings of repetition, the hard lessons learned through failure, and the mindset to keep showing up when progress feels slow. That's the preparation that unlocks potential. Too many people wait until the stakes are high to start preparing. They scramble to catch up, hoping to fake confidence in moments that require real competence. But purpose is not impressed by urgency, it responds to readiness. If your vision is big, then your preparation must be bigger. You must treat your daily routine as training ground for your future impact. Every piece of knowledge you gather, every skill you refine, every habit you strengthen, these are the bricks you use to build a foundation that can carry the weight of your purpose. There's a reason the best performers, athletes, speakers, and innovators put in thousands of hours behind the scenes. They know that when the spotlight comes, there will be no time to prepare, only time to perform. They understand that greatness isn't created in the moment of pressure. It's revealed. And what's revealed is always the result of preparation. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your preparation. If you haven't built the habits, the knowledge, the endurance, and the discipline, no amount of inspiration will save you when the test comes. Preparation also builds humility. It keeps you grounded. It reminds you that purpose isn't something you own, it's something you steward. And to steward it well, you must be committed to growth even when no one is applauding, to learning even when it's hard, and to showing up even when results aren't immediate. Preparation turns vague potential into focused power. It transforms dreams into plans and intentions into impact. It is the process that separates talkers from doers, thinkers from builders, and wishers from warriors. There's a truth many people overlook: the best version of you is still ahead. No matter what you've achieved, how far you've come, or how much you've grown, there is still more inside you waiting to be unlocked. Too often, people fall into the trap of thinking they've peaked, as if growth has an endpoint or identity is fixed. They begin to live according to who they've been instead of who they could become. But growth is not linear, and it's certainly not finite. Human potential is limitless when it's fueled by purpose, discipline, and belief. Every chapter of your life has the potential to be greater than the last, not because your past wasn't meaningful, but because your future hasn't been written yet, and you hold the pen. Becoming the best version of yourself requires vision. It demands that you look beyond your current circumstances, your limitations, and even your achievements, and ask a powerful question, asterisk, what else am I capable of? Asterisk, that question is where transformation begins. It shifts your focus from maintenance to momentum, from surviving to evolving. You begin to see yourself not as a finished product, but as a work in progress, one with unlimited potential. When you believe there's more in you, you stop measuring your life by what you've done and start measuring it by what you're becoming. This belief does not mean you reject your present self. On the contrary, it means you respect yourself enough to keep pushing forward. You honor your growth by not letting it stop. You understand that the version of you that once inspired others, overcame battles, and achieved greatness has prepared the ground for something even more powerful to emerge. Life is not asking you to be perfect, it's asking you to evolve. Every new experience, every new challenge, every new decision is a tool for refinement. The process of becoming is not about erasing who you are, it's about expanding it. Growth is not something that just happens with age or time. It happens when you intentionally stretch yourself, when you set higher standards, when you place yourself in environments that challenge your thinking and expand your capacity. You must constantly reintroduce yourself to higher levels of expectation. You must remain hungry to improve, not because you are lacking, but because you recognize the infinite depth of what lies within you. Growth is never about comparison, it's about completion. You're not trying to become better than someone else. You're trying to become the most complete version of yourself. That version of you, the one with deeper wisdom, sharper discipline, greater compassion, and unshakable strength, is not a fantasy. It's real, but it only comes to life when you commit to the process of continuous self-development. It requires that you remain open, coachable, and willing to step into the unknown. It means seeing every day as a new opportunity to raise your standards and break through your self-imposed ceilings. It's a commitment to becoming someone who refuses to plateau, who chooses transformation over comfort, who sees growth not as a phase but as a way of life.